Hello everybody and happy Pride Month! Speaking of Pride, that's kind of the topic of today's video. Now, I know that I kind of said that I wasn't going to be making any videos for a while, and that I kind of just have no time for them, but this topic came up and I realized I really needed to talk about it. I begged a friend, let's just say, to let me use their PC so I could actually make a good, decent quality video. Bah! I really cannot speak today. But yeah. So, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is, as I said, about pride, or rather trans positivity, and how it's actually not as positive as I thought it would be. There's a lot of things to kind of cover here. It's really important that I talk about this though, because I realized something a little bit toxic about the trans community and how kind of they see certain things, or at least how some people see certain things. Let's start with a Twitter thread that I found today and I wanted to talk about because it made me just a little bit concerned. So it starts off with this one post that says, "Why is there so much official art of Shinji transitioning?" And it has a picture of Shinji from Evangelion in dress, and he is dressed very feminine, and he has like the little pointy eyelashes, which shouldn't say much because I also have eyelashes, but I have like a more masculine model, which, oh yeah, by the way, I should probably mention that like this is my more femme model, which I like to use because I'm a gender flux, and while I identify as just being kind of an agender person and I don't mind any pronouns and whatnot, I also like going back and forth between looking more masculine or more feminine. So today I just thought it would be kind of fitting for me to look more feminine just for the sake of this video and this whole topic. You'll see what I mean. But yeah, why is there so much official art of Shinji transitioning? And somebody said because Shinji is trans. Oh my goodness, what a bold statement. Now, I get that people can have like theories on characters and can speculate on characters being like gay or bi or whatever it may be, and that's fine and dandy. I am all for that. I am all for that completely. However, the way people go about it here makes it seem like they're either setting it in stone or they're relating things that shouldn't be tied to gender to Shinji being trans. You'll see what I mean in a second here. Reading onward. I think Shinji is so emotionally damaged that you can't really say that what Shinji is. Shinji doesn't understand themselves and is just emotionally starved for any form of affection. Somebody says, I am emotionally damaged and don't understand myself and am trans, LOL. Yeah, I'm literally the most emotionally damaged person I know, possibly on Shinji levels of damaged, and I was still able to figure out I'm gender fluid. Now, looking at both sides of this argument really quick, I see what the first person was trying to say. Because Shinji is emotionally damaged, that it seems like Shinji doesn't really have a gender identity completely. That's what I think they were getting at, that in the series that's how it comes off as, at least to them it does. And people seemed a little bit upset about that, because I get how it could come off sounding like, oh, if you're emotionally damaged, then that means you can't identify yourself, which isn't true. Obviously you can have like emotional problems, but still be able to identify yourself as being trans or gender fluid or agender or whatever you want to be, or not want to be, but just what you are. And yeah, but on the other side of the spectrum, saying I'm emotionally damaged and don't understand myself and am trans, lol, thinking about how some people see it, they will see that as that's why you are trans and that's why you think you're trans, because you're emotionally damaged and you actually just don't know what you want at all, which is horrible. But like, I'm just saying that these two people didn't really like prove their point in any way. I get what they're saying, but they just, knowing how the world kind of, like, a lot of transphobic people who don't understand what being trans means, saying that won't make them realize what it means to be trans. It'll just make people discriminate more. Going onward, I don't possibly see how a show about a boy being constantly stressed out and traumatized and oozing self-hate could ever have anything to do with Shinji being trans. Then somebody said he could just happen to be trans in a show about being constantly stressed out and traumatized and oozing self-hate. It doesn't have to be the focal point, which is a good point. It doesn't have to be. It could just be another thing that's like added in. And then the person replied, my tweet was sarcastic. I do think Shinji be trans is very plausible. Now, here's the thing, like, everybody's saying that it's possible, but nobody explains why until we get into the later tweets. Starting with this photo. It's already weird that people think that Shinji is like pre-HRT and somehow goes into being Asuka. They're just such different characters. They're two totally different people that you can't say that that's Shinji. Like, sure, Asuka seems like more confident in the way she like presents herself, but that's not really who Asuka is. And it's so much more complicated than that. You can just tell that Shinji and Asuka are two totally different people. So this doesn't make sense, first of all. Second of all, they use a picture of Shinji in a maid outfit, which I see a lot of pictures of Shinji dressing in like girly clothes, but that doesn't have to mean that he's trans. Now, let me just explain myself here. Saying that somebody is trans based on how they dress is a little insulting. I mean, you know, if you're saying that somebody, like a guy who wants to dress in a dress has to be a girl, don't you think that's a little bit insulting to that guy when they completely, fully feel like they're a male? They feel like they can't wear a dress because they're a guy. Or they feel like if they do wear dresses that makes them a girl. What about femboys who are also trans men? Does it make them any less of a man just because of the fact they like to dress in more feminine clothes? It shouldn't. They're still guys. They still identify as male. So why are we correlating clothing to if Shinji is trans or not, or just to being trans in general? Don't you see how that could be problematic? And it gets worse from here. This is where kind of like shit hits the fan and I realize that people are seeing this totally wrong. Somebody wrote, you know, normally I'd be annoyed at making the straight one the LGBT character instead of a new one, but considering Shinji personality, I'm not surprised. What do you mean? So because of Shinji's personality, you're saying that he's a girl? Excuse me? Don't you realize how troublesome that is? I mean, if somebody identifies as a guy, but they also identify as being kind of like Shinji, you're saying that they're pretty much just not a guy and that they are a girl because of how they act, how their personality is? That's just really insulting. What is this? Somebody actually wrote here, and I wanted to actually make a point on this. Fun fact, Shinji was originally written as a girl, which is true, I heard about this. but I think they changed to boy for marketing. Now, that doesn't make any sense to me because it's females who market a lot better, in my opinion. Even in the VTubing community, girls do a lot better. If you have a cute girl avatar, people watch you a lot more than if you are a guy. Or at least that's what I've seen, but I could be wrong. But, like, a lot of the time I see, like, girl characters, girl avatars, and even in, like, places like VR chat and stuff, and anywhere in games and whatnot, if you're, as a girl, like, even if you aren't a girl, you're like a dude with like a girl avatar, you'll get attention because you look really adorable and just pretty and sweet and stuff, and a lot of people get drawn to that. So I don't think it was for marketing. Actually, I heard from somewhere that the creator, Ano, I think his name is, Ano, really like resonated with Shinji. He related a lot to Shinji, so he decided to make Shinji a boy. It's kind of like almost like a vent character, which is why I kind of start to find this even more insulting, because if an actual guy is identifying as Shinji, there's probably other guys who identify this way and who are just emotionally damaged, very emotional, very shy, very like, you know, just Shinji-like, but people are saying that because Shinji is the way he is, that he must be a trans girl. That means that every guy who identifies with Shinji are also being called girls, or at least that's how it comes off, and I think that's not a really good look for this whole thing. Then there was this tweet which also bothered me, because if he was trans, it would make a lot of sense. Much of the show is him struggling with other people's expectations of him, Asuka especially, who wants to push a traditionally masculine identity onto him that he's just not compatible with. Now, I get where they're coming from with the whole trans theory thing, but here's the thing, you don't need to be trans in order to feel uncomfortable with the typical masculine identity. That's a society problem. We constantly, even with this post, shows that if you wear a dress or if you're shy and kind of feminine, people kind of see you as not really a guy. They see you as not masculine. So a lot of people need to just understand that the show also kind of talks about the whole like problem with society and how they see like people should be. Shinji is clearly very troubled, and that also like adds to his personality, why he's so shy, why he's so reserved, and other things. That doesn't have to mean that he's necessarily feminine or a woman. That just means that's who Shinji is. You know, there's plenty of guys who are very shy and very reserved and very, like, feminine or soft-spoken. Maybe because that's just how they are, or maybe they've been through something. There are some people who, like, you don't have to be that way because you've been through something, obviously, but there are some people who've been through a lot and maybe they have, like, social anxiety and they feel very shy around people. That doesn't make a guy feminine or a girl just because he feels socially anxious around people and gets very shy very quickly. It's not like that at all. And I don't think people should correlate personality and just how uncomfortable they are with like typical masculinity, traditional masculinity. What was I saying? People shouldn't correlate gender identity with somebody being uncomfortable with traditional masculinity or their personality traits. That makes no sense, you know, because there's people out there who identify completely one way but then they act another. There's even girls out there who dress very masculine, they have short hair, they work out, they're muscular, they're, you know, they Like, you'd think, oh, that they're clearly just a closeted trans man, but they're not. They identify as women, and saying that they are men because of how they look and how they act, that's insulting to them, because you can't just base somebody off of appearances and personality traits. You can't just give them a gender identity and be like, yes, this is what you are because of the way you act and the way you look. That's just insulting, and that's just honestly stupid. And I think society needs to stop gendering everything, because people can look and act however the fuck they want and identify with what they feel most comfortable with. Don't make somebody feel uncomfortable just because they look or act a certain way. If a guy wants to wear skirts, don't immediately be like, ah, yes, you are a trans woman, because that's just insulting. Ask what pronouns they like to go with. And I know Shinji, you obviously can't ask him what pronouns he goes with, but let's just say that because of the fact it's not really discussed and he goes by he him pronouns in the whole series, and it's never like talked about if he's comfortable with that or not, let's just not be like, ah, yes, no, he is 100% trans because of his personality. You'd have to hear it be canon first to be like, yes, this is 100% the truth, because it comes off bad. It comes off really like, ugh. Just not good. So then somebody said, bruh, why are guys in the comments trying so hard to ruin that she isn't trans? Just let a motherfucker believe, LMAO. And like, it's not because of the fact like it's not like you can't speculate on Shinji being trans. That's fine, as I said. But it becomes a problem when, like, how do I explain it? It becomes a problem when you start to say, like, oh yes, this is 100% the truth, and anybody else who might resonate with Shinji and, I don't know, kind of kin Shinji and is a guy, they'll feel kind of terrible about this. Like, oh, the guy that I relate to is being called a trans girl or just a girl in general, and I'll feel bad, you know? I'll feel bad about it. I would feel bad if I was identifying with a character who was considered to be non-binary, and then people were like, no, because they have, I don't know, long hair, they're a girl. And it's like, but I like long hair. I like having long hair, but I still identify as agender. I mean, look at me. I have booba. But I still identify as agender. So does that mean I can't have these things and I can't like having these things and still be agender? Like, that's the issue here. That's the problem that I'm having with this post and with all these comments or replies. If people would just like be like, oh yeah, I think Shinji might be trans because of this and this reason, I don't know, he exhibits gender dysphoria in the series, or he wanted people to like call him a girl or something, or I don't know, something somewhere which indicated Shinji being really, really trans. Or you just say like, oh, I just like imagining Shinji being trans because it's my thing, I guess. But being like, it's because of his personality. It's because of, it's because he dresses with girly clothes. That's insulting to other people who do that and who don't identify as a woman. You're pretty much just saying, hey, if you do this, you're a girl. And I think that's kind of problematic, don't you? So, yeah, let's not do that. Trans pride is great, and I'm really proud of anyone who comes out as trans and, you know, follows that path, because, I mean, it's difficult with all the prejudice that is surrounding transness. It's really a problem, but I'm proud of people for, you know, coming forth and being who they really are, out from not just inside but also outside. But we also have to be considerate of other people and how they might feel and how they might identify, and not just project ourselves so hard onto something that we could actually cause hurt in someone else. So again, you can say, yeah, I relate to certain things with Shinji and it makes me think that Shinji is trans. You can say that. That's fine. But don't be like, Shinji is 100% trans because of their personality, something that is so fluid and so flexible. Anybody could have that personality and identify with whatever gender they feel like they identify with. Thoughts like that are just problematic and a little bit transphobic, ironically. So let's cut that crap and let's just not do that. Yeah, let's just not do that. That's my whole point. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I think I'll end this video here now. I just wanted to also mention that, like, I think I found the apartment of my dreams. I'm almost positive. I saw it yesterday and I'm so positive that it is the right place, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to be looking at a couple more places, and then I will probably do like an update video sometime to be like, oh yeah, I found a place, I'm going to move in. And then after I move in and I get my equipment, my PC and whatnot, and set everything up, I promise I will start making like a streaming schedule and, you know, upload schedule and whatnot, so that I can actually make content here for you guys. More rants, more gaming stuff, and we can just have a huge fun time, a whole blast, a blast and a half. And as well with my Discord server, I definitely want to do events and stuff and invite a lot of the members to come and join those events and, you know, do fun things. And I'll actually be able to do it when I have a proper PC and, you know, my own privacy and whatnot. It'll be a lot easier, I promise. And actually, because of the apartment I saw, like I said, I don't know if I will get it, so I'm not gonna make any promises. But the apartment I saw was so perfect that I might actually be able to keep my pets, which is a great thought because, as I said, I love my doggy, I love my kitty, and I don't want to have to give up one or the other. But the way the apartment is, like, I'll maybe explain later, but all I want to say was that it has like 2 floors in a sense, so I can literally they'll never have to interact with each other almost. Or if they just don't want to interact with each other, one can be upstairs and the other can be downstairs. Probably the dog will be downstairs. But yeah, so they'll be able to just not bother each other anymore and things will be fine. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to things here in the future, and yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I hope I didn't upset anybody too much with this rant. I'm seriously okay with like trans stuff. I really like support all of, like, I mean, I'm a gender flux, so yeah, I support all the prides. I don't support when people say things carelessly. That's my point. Anything careless that could possibly hurt somebody is really, like, it bothers me always. Anyways, see you guys around. Have a great day, and I'll catch you around. Bye-bye!
It's all for you. Outside it's warm, and skies are all blue. You're gonna die, I'm gonna kill you. You're gonna die, I'm gonna kill you. You're gonna die, I'm gonna kill you. You're gonna die, I'm gonna kill you.